us. So all the best, Sayantika. All the best, everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome you all once again to the continuation of Workshop 1 of Season 3 of Metaverse, The Future Beckons. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to our participants joining us via YouTube Live. Today, we are going to dive deep into the fascinating world of the metaverse, a revolutionary concept that's reshaping industries, interactions, and imagination. This session is hosted by the Indian Pharmaceutical Association Students Forum, IPA-SF, an organization committed to fostering knowledge and innovation among students in the pharmaceutical field. We'll discuss how these cutting edge advancements are poised to redefine the future of the metaverse and its applications in the various sectors. Next slide. Next slide. Myself, Shantika Mandal, your moderator for the session. I am currently pursuing PharmD at Pune College of Pharmacy and serving as the project's head under the project subcommittee of IPA Students Forum. Last slide, please. Last slide. In the morning session, we already learned about the Engage XR by Laurel Ma'am. Now, let me introduce the lineup of speakers for today's session. We'll begin with an introduction to IPA-SF by Dr. Vrushali Doshi, the IPA-SF president. Next, Mr. Arun Nadarasa will guide us through the Meta Pharmacy Season 3 guidelines. Following that, Mr. DIPANJAN Das will discuss the intriguing topic of interaction ring for spatial computing devices. Lastly, Mr. Eddie AVIL will explore the thought-provoking question, are we living in a simulated world? Next slide. Before we dive into our discussion, let's quickly go over some housekeeping rules. Kindly keep your microphones muted throughout the session. We encourage active participation. If you have any questions or thoughts, please type them in the chat box. We will address them during the Q&A session. Next slide. Before starting with the main sessions, I would welcome Dr. Vrushali Doshi by giving a short brief about her. Dr. Vrushali Doshi holds a Doctor of Pharmacy degree from Pune College of Pharmacy, Pune, and has achieved distinction in her academic career. She currently serves as the Business Development Head at Rajan Cells Corporation, leading initiatives in the distribution of specialty products. With experience as a clinical pharmacy intern at Bharti Hospital, she is proficient in patient care, drug therapy monitoring, and medical research. Dr. Doshi has held various leadership roles, including National President of the Indian Pharmaceutical Association Students Forum, where she led initiatives for student development and advocated for the inclusion of pharmacy qualifications in government positions. She also spearheaded numerous projects, national events, and seminars while managing editorial responsibilities for IPA publication. Dr. Vrushali Doshi, the stage is on.
Thank you so much, Sayantika. It was a lovely introduction. I'll be sharing my screen now. Just let me know if it's visible. Is my screen visible?
It's visible, Dee.
Thank you so much. Okay. So, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for registering for the Metaverse Hackathon Season 3, and we are elated to have you guys come here, learn and explore with us. So before we kick off the Metaverse workshops, let me have a brief introduction about what IPA and IPA-SF is. So the IPA-SF comes under the banner of IPA, that is the Indian Pharmaceutical Association Students Forum. comes under, which is a national body which has over 1 million pharmacists nationwide, and we are divided into five different parts, that is industry, academia, regulatory, hospital, and community pharmacy. The IPA is a non governmental organization with official relations with the International Pharmaceutical Federation and the WHO. I'll tell you guys, it is one of the oldest pharmacy forums there is, which is having over 80 years of experience nationwide. The IPSF comes under the education division of the IPA, and it is a student which is made by the students for the students and is for the growth of the students. We are a leading national advocacy organization for pharmaceutical students and recent graduates. We promote the idea of public health through information, education, networking, a wide range of publications, and professional initiatives. We were established around 16 years back in the presence of the late Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam in Mumbai. And with great pride, I introduce you to this year's National Executive Committee. We have Mr. Sainath Chari Ganochi as the immediate past president based in Hyderabad, myself leading the organization based in Pune, Mr. Mohit Manjanta is the secretary based from Delhi, Mr. Vamsi Ambati Krishna, which is the joint secretary based from Andhra, Mr. Vivek Kamble as a treasurer based in Pune, Ms. Aditi Roy as the chairperson of public relations from Calcutta, Ms. Atufa Pade as the chairperson of projects based from Pune, and Ms. Vishnu Priya as the chairperson of liaisons based from Andhra again. Moving on, we have uh, quite a share of awards for the IPA-SF, which includes the Best Student Organization Award, the Best Innovative Health Campaign Award. There is the highest blood donation award, and few of our office bearers have received stipends for travel grants and scholarships from FIP and AASC. We are widespread in over 15 different states in 35 different chapters and have over 5,000 plus members associated with us currently. We are divided into state chapters, local chapters, and college level chapters. So, our state level chapters include Maharashtra, Bihar, Jharkhand, Kerala, Delhi, and Uttarakhand, whereas the local and college chapters include Pune, ASN, CHIPS, SNVT, Sri Indu, and VCOP, and many, many more. I am very happy to announce that this year we opened over 13 different chapters. So we are quite established, and the latest one was in Nasik at MET's IOP. We have lots of student oriented activities, and the most widely talked about is the Student Congress. Last year we had the 13th IPA Student Congress at PIT Haryana. We've had at Vizag, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, and these are a few snippets of the Congress. We had a fashion show, we had cultural activities, we've had scientific sessions for 3 days, we had a pre-conference workshop, and so many more pharma-oriented activities. We also have a presence with IPA at the Indian Pharmaceutical Congress, where over 20,000 members attended the conference, and it was conducted at High-Tech Hyderabad this July. A little bit about what we do, like our projects. So we have a student grievance or the voice of student project. We have scientific Saturdays for students who are into research writing and clinical trials. We have article writing competition where we give up prizes up to rupees 1 lakh. We also collaborate with the government, like for the launch of the Jan Aushadhi posters and awareness. We also have tie-ups with PCI, where we requested them to add the positions of food safety officer in the municipalities. And for BFAM and FARMD, we also create job opportunities this way. We also have lots of student exchange programs, not just within India, but abroad as well. So we've had one with Egypt, with South Africa, we've had with IPA-SF, that is the Pacific Association for Pharmacy Councils. This is one of our ventures for all these pharmacy students out there where they can explore career opportunities apart from their regular pharma curriculum. We have covered topics such as pharma brand management, patient centric medical affairs, pharmacogenomics, pharma and critical care self analysis, precision medicine, masters in abroad, biostats, regulatory affairs, and so much more, astropharmacy. We also have a lot of training sessions where we have events like Metaverse Hackathon, we have Canva sessions, we have offline and online training sessions. So we also have our own publication. You guys can have a look out for it. We recently released the 10th issue of Panache Live last week. Go check it out on our social media pages. It's amazing. We have collaborations with FIP and IPA Community Pharmacy Division. So the latest project was also in tie-up with the Indian Cancer Society for the cessation of tobaccos, and you can see us having the offline workshop here. So it was a great experience. We also collaborate with them for National Pharmacy Week and the World Pharmacist Day. We have a global networking events with FIP, Malaysian Institute of Pharmacy Council. We have tie-ups with Singapore, South Africa, UK, Australia, Canada, and Thailand as well. You can see a few snippets where we have Mohit right here, uh, who's also a part of FIP and one of the representatives from India. Our former council gives out opportunities like having interviewing Dr. Krishna Ella, the founder and managing director of Bharat Biotech, who is also again uh, a part of IPA. As I said, we do have job opportunities where we this one is where we collaborated with Sims Medica for the position of executive scientific content editor at Bangalore. The World Pharmacist Day is coming up. Do share us your portrait so that we can put it in the collage and share it worldwide. One of a few of our upcoming projects and also ongoing projects is Pharma X, where we are trying to build job opportunities for everyone. The Metaverse Hackathon, which very happily we started off today, and it was a great session. And the Exam Blueprint Challenge, where the winners will be announced on the World Pharmacist Day, and we are also giving out cash prizes. So, for all those curious cats who are thinking of how to become a part of this amazing forum, so we have two types of memberships for students, that is the student life membership and the student annual membership. So, the student life membership goes up for around 7,000 rupees for 35 years, and the annual membership is for 1 year for 356 rupees. So, it's a win and win deal you because you get back the worth of your money through contacts, through developing the skills for administrative creative leadership experience. You get to keep on learning, you get to expand your resume, you have travel grants, free subscriptions to all IPA and IPSF publications, and also you have career guidance. Networking opportunities are endless. I cannot, once I start talking about it, I am sure we will need another hour for that. So we will be sharing the links online after the session. If you guys are interested, you can reach out to us. Uh, so one of our resolutions for this year is to develop a 360-degree program for all budding pharmacists and to create more job opportunities, to increase student exchange programs, and to analyze the pharma education from the root level and make the significant changes in the curriculum. We have our students there, they are understanding what is required in today's state, and actually they are there being the cream of the milk, helping the people out there at just the basic first second year level. You guys can follow us on all the social media handles at IPA-SF.org. We are on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, Twitter, and as you joined in YouTube. So do click snapshots and everything and put a hashtag of IPSF so we can repost your stories and all your pictures. So I think I can stop sharing and Santika, you can take over. Thank you so much.
Akansha, you can share the PPT. So thank you so much, Vrushali Di, for the warm introduction of IPSF. Next, I am more than delighted to welcome Mr. Arun Nadarasa, CEO of ISSPA. He is the only pharmacist ambassador for Personalized Care Institute (PCI). He created the first online course for social prescribing the community pharmacy, which has over 830 students from 76 countries via Udemy. He is also the only pharmacist as a social prescribing champion for the Social Prescribing Champion program, that is pilot, established by the National Academy for Social Prescribing NASP and NHS England and NHS Improvement. His passion for social prescribing came from his background as a dance for Parkinson's and medical NLP practitioner. He is also the author of Pharmacy Movement: How to Prescribe Social and Digital Medicines, which is the first published book on the topic of pharmacy social prescribing. He is also the organizer of the world's first Pharmacy Social Prescribing Conference, PSPC. His articles were published in the Pharmaceutical Journal, Pharmacy Business, and the International Pharmacy Journal. Can we have Arun sir's video played?
Hi everyone, welcome to the third season of the Metaverse Pharmacy Hackathon organized by the IPA-SF. Sorry I can't make it live. Here's a recorded presentation, but I've done 2 videos already for you to watch afterward just to get the catch up on how to get started fairly quickly. Right? And it's basically exploring metaverse, Web3, blockchain to reimagine the future of healthcare delivery. And but you can only join one team only, right? We don't want you to be joining 3 or 4 teams, and then your attention to details is diluted. It has to be full into one team. Now, in terms of product guidelines, so remember the hackathon's kicking off pretty much today, and be having the final in October. So what we want ideas every week is for people to ask questions, to experiment, to get mentorship from myself and Sir Alec, who's kindly agreed to help us, the pharmacy student, where we can provide you insight, videos, one-on-one feedback on how to go from an idea in your head into something you can share to other people, right? So ideally, it should be focused on healthcare, hence the name Metaverse Pharmacy. Because you have a lot of weeks to prepare, we don't want just a photo. We don't want just a slide. When we did season 1, it was 2 days. So of course, slide was perfectly fine. Last season, season 2 was nearly a month long, so people came up with amazing, truly innovative ideas, and this season is no different. So you want a working prototype. So it could be a link, which could be an augmented reality experience. If you have watched the videos from Snapchat for Snap OS, you can watch it. It's going to unlock your creativity for this submission for season 3. It could be a virtual reality environment, metaverse platform, which you have your avatar walking around, or it could be like augmented reality where people can wear glasses and just walk around to kind of talk with the actual body rather than the avatar. But yeah, that's the guideline. Ideas to be original. Remember, this is for you. We want to unleash your creativity. We don't want to be a copycat, right? Every single one of you that's here today is extremely special. You've taken time on a Sunday to attend the session, to be part of this game changer, which, remember, India is #1, in my opinion, for pharmacy in the metaverse, because IPA-SF are leading it. We are the first country in the world that's have an actual hackathon for pharmacy metaverse. And you being here today should be very, very proud of you, right? And of course, no monetization, so you don't want to be asking money from team members. You're working as a team, and there's cash price, of course, but you don't want to be asking, if I join the team, I want this much money. That's not how hackathon work. They defeat the whole purpose, right? In terms of requirements, remember, this is a highly competitive competition where the criteria is highly selective. So we want it to be short and snappy. So we want to prepare you in your entrepreneurship journey so that when you qualify as a pharmacist, you launch a startup and you have a working prototype with users using it. Then you want to scale up, getting money from either grant, angel investment, or VC, venture capitalists funding. Then doing presentation is super important. That's a skill set we want to instill in you as a student. When I was your age, I didn't have a clue what was a hackathon. I'm 36 now, and you're a student, you get that knowledge now. So huge thanks to the IPA-SF for providing this important skill set to the pharmacy student. 5 minutes presentation, that's all you get. What I recommend, I think it's 3 minutes, your slide deck, 3 minutes, and 2 minutes, a demo video. And the thing is, you want to have a backup video, right? So let's say if you have an environment on the Metaverse platform, and on the day the internet of the server that's hosting the Metaverse platform experience doesn't work, you're in big trouble. But if you were to create the experience and then record it using your computer or phone, whether you want to show it around, at least there's a backup there, right? If on the day it doesn't work. And sometimes when you do it live, the video can become laggy. So often doing a video is good. And you can always share the link of your Meta Pharmacy experience in your slide deck. Doing a presentation is super important. You can use Gamma, which is what I'm using right now to create a slide deck. If you want, you can publish your experience of Metaverse Pharmacy into a website. We don't expect you to create a website from scratch. You can use Framer to create a website, which I'll share in a link, where you could have your website, your slide deck, and a video of your Meta Pharmacy experience. And of course, it should be one person talking. You don't want to be having 10 second, 10 second, 10 second, because sometimes someone may not work. There might be a problem with the microphone. Just have one person that's going to deal the presentation. So it's like the team member lead spokesperson. In terms of technical presentation, it is not compulsory, it is recommended. Compulsory, recommended. This is recommended. Yeah. So Ethereum wallet, Flow wallet, if you want to integrate some kind of blockchain element in your solution, for example, patient record holding a blockchain solution, and Ready Player Me Avatar and Avatar, those two platforms are great to create realistic looking avatar, which you can use in the Metaverse platform. But remember, this is recommended, not compulsory, right? I just want to highlight this, right? So in terms of inspiration, please, 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 there is so much value from season 1 and season 2 recording. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Watch season 1, season 2 recording from last year and the year before that to get some inspiration, to understand how far we have come. So that is going to give you some, you're standing on the shoulder of giant, basically, right? Glyph remixing. I've already done a video. So basically, Glyph is basically Lego blocks for AI. And you can remix the one I've created specifically for you guys and gal to take your solution to the next level. And AI integration, if someone in your team is very good with AI, who's like had some kind of data scientist background as being a pharmacist as well, pharmacist student, then feel free to include the Hugging Face link to your presentation, or if you're doing coding, GitHub works as equally as fine. And remember, your mind is the limit. When I first saw season 1 pitch, winning pitch, and then had tears coming to my eyes, how mind-blowing it was. And season 2 was no different. I was blown away by the presentation. I was blown away. So basically, your mind is the limit. Try to explore solution that's really pushing the boundary. Remember, no, if you can hold it in your head, you can hold it in your hand, right? Unleash your imagination, embrace the future. How would the drone look like? How would smart glasses, VR headset, 3D printing of medication, pharmacy in space, pharmacy in Mars, pharmacy on the sea, in the ocean. What do you want to make it? We want you to reimagine how would the pharmacy look like in a metaverse world. Remember, metaverse is like the bridge between physical and digital, which is persistent. And there's many definitions out there. If you watch last recording, it makes it more clear cut. And we have a set of amazing speakers that's volunteered to provide amazing insight for you to kind of take your project to the next level. Yes, so do embrace this hackathon. It's happening once a year, 3rd season. It's only to get higher and higher next level. And if you got any questions, feel free to message us on Discord. And yeah, so that'll be the end of my presentation. Thank you, and see you in the metaverse.
We have next video also, right, Kashish? Please play that.
Yes, just a minute.
Okay.
Hi everyone, so I'll be showing you the CSM platform today. So in a nutshell, that's how the land page looks like. So when you get started, you have to sign up because I already have an account, I can sign in. But basically, every team that's taking part in this hackathon are sponsored by the platform owner, Tejas, so you have access to a free feature. So I highly recommend to all the team members to make use of this amazing platform, which is to simplify everything into one place. So I'm going to show you some example with new example and also past examples to kind of get you a feel of this platform. So in a nutshell, that's the land page. that some of the assets are created already, but for you, be more of the things you've created. Then you have image to 3D, which is basically converting from a 2D image into 3D, which you then can import into a special platform like Busy or a Metaverse platform like Spatial, Engage, from understanding, and ATXR, of course. AI retexturing is basically a fancy word where you can make the color of the 3D model more pretty and nicer to look at. Part-based asset pack is basically just to isolate an object within a character like the glasses, the hat, and you can manipulate it with it. Animate 3D is basically having a 3D model and making it perform certain action like dancing, vaccinating, CPR. And this last button is mainly to get professional help where you have to pay money for getting a hold of professional 3D designer. But just to kind of show you some of the other things you can do within the platform is this button called Text to 3D Quick Access, which is basically for you to enter a prompt to create a 3D object. So let's say a beating heart. Yeah, generate image. So now it's kind of creating the image for you. So now you got a beating like a heart, basically, right? But then I think you can click on it once. Okay, so now it's kind of creating a session to turn it into 3D, right? So you have the hourglass that's spinning around. It's going to try to turn this 2D image into 3D, right? So once it's been done, you can play around with it. It goes from spin to preview to kind of for you to get approve it and then refine it, which you can then download. So while this is doing in the background, which shows some other things. So those are the images I've created within the platform from my understanding. As you can see, that's a preview, which you can then, generate a preview, which you can then download. But this was done within the CSM platform. But also what I've done, that's a 2D image I created from a different website. But for now, I just want to show you the concept for now, right? So basically, that's the object. I think you can see that. So basically, what I did was put a 2D image and then can create a 3D model. So basically, you can download this, which is basically, from understanding, or the download, or maybe not. Please bear with me. I think it might be this button. I think he's trying to download it now. By some of the other wording, you don't need to worry too much about it. But in a nutshell, you can also retexture it, you can animate it. I mean, you could try to and add the 3D world is another option you can do. Option image, pin video. Okay, so let's try that. And let's see what happens. Normally I should be able to download it. This button. Object, session, and try again. Just waiting for the system now. Okay, so that's a preview model. And that's the actual model part. Okay, so I already downloaded them, apologies. So if you click on it once, you should have different file in it. Okay, right. So you have the GLB file, which is basically this object which you can drag and drop in. So let's try auto-montage. I haven't seen it before. Okay, it's doing something. But anyway, in a nutshell, what this is doing, let me go back to another example I've done previously, which I believe was this one, or maybe not. But yeah, in a nutshell, image 3D is you can put an image that you've created from a different platform to turn into 3D, which is basically these two examples. Let's say if it's done. Okay, see, it went from a 2D image into 3D. Then what you can do is click generate preview, so it's not doing its thing. And you can go back to the mainstream while it's kind of doing that. And then is there something I've done here? Okay, so let's see if I want to animate an object, right? It's going to ask me which one do I want to animate. Let's say I want to animate this one. So ideally you want to have something called like a T shape where they have that position in that manner. Submit orientation. So basically you can do everything with this platform. You can have the text to image, image to 3D, and 3D model into animation, all within one platform, which is great. So we should thank you to the CSM for sponsoring the pharmacy student and design student to take part in this Meta Pharmacy Challenge. So what this is doing this, let's check out auto montage. So maybe an error with my internet potentially. But yeah, let's wait for this to come up. Okay, so now when you want to animate an object, as you can see, you have this as a guideline. You want to do the exact same thing for the object, right? So you want to drag this down. That's the kneecap. That's the hip level. That's, I guess, the private area, the center of the body, the neck area, the shoulder, the elbow, the wrist, the mouth, the forehead, right? Once this is all aligned, you click next. Okay. This is my first time using this, so I don't know how it works in practice. Okay. That's interesting. Can I zoom in? This is probably an easy way of doing it. Okay. That's quite cool. But yeah, I'm coming back to the animation part. Let's wait for it to finish off. But yeah, in a nutshell, if you got any question, you can ask us in a Discord channel. Be more than happy to help you. And remember, the challenge is the Metaverse Pharmacy. Therefore, this is your vision, your creativity on how the interaction should be, what should be the object within the environment. So yeah, let's wait for it. While this is doing it. Okay, so that's a preview, which cool, kind of looks nice and clean. Then you click Generate Refine. Yeah. So basically the spin is to create a very quick overview how it's going to look like. Preview is to create like a preview on how the final object will look like. And when you click Refine, that's what you'll be using in your final presentation of your scene. Right. Still waiting for this. So while it's kind of trying to do the animation library, let me show you a platform which is I'm a big fan of, called Busy, which is great for people that are not coder like us. Just waiting for the platform. So I think, okay, let me create a new team. IPA-SF season 3. Yeah. Skip for now, new file. So let me come back to the file I've downloaded previously. Download, I think this one. Extract tool. So it's now extracting the file. What you want to be doing in your environment is either AR or VR. Let's pick AR just for simplicity for now. What it does, of course, you need to create an account with Busy, but it's quite self-explanatory. You'll see like a sticky person, and that's your field of vision. So remember the object we created on CSM. You want to take the GLB file and drag and drop. And you see something called uploading, right? And then you do that. And then, so a trick for everyone, whenever you put an object, is to always go to transform and click 0 and 0. Because then it comes at the center, right? But then remember, there's you as a camera, so you want to go slightly back, bring it slightly up, right? So now what's going to happen, I forgot to mention, so you have 3 pointer, you have the blue one, the red one, and the green one, so you can drag and drop. If you click the arrow, it's going to move the location, which is transform. If you click this button, it's going to change the shape, right? So you want to stick to the arrow instead. If you want to see a preview, click on play. It's good to download the file. So remember, I've kind of created almost everything from CSM, right? Remember, I went from a beating heart and so on and so on. So in terms of the animation, okay. Can everyone see the animation? So the person is now walking. You can pause, okay? Now you can say jump. I should jump. See? So the animation is already pre-populated through the CSM platform. And then once you're happy with that, I believe you click on export. So let me do an example for you. Let's do run, because you can't go wrong with run, right? Someone that does running runs. So everyone agree this person is running right now. Click export. It should export into FBX file. Okay, fair enough. You can also create your own one. You can say, I don't know, do start jump, right? So you can create your own animation within CSM, which is amazing. And you click animate mesh. So now it's kind of doing its thing, as you can see from the hourglass. But now coming back to my thing. See? So this is my 3D model, which I created using CSM. A small tip for everyone is, as you can see, it has a button here, but if I was to move it, this moves in real time, which is great. And also if you click share, it asks you for personal camera, you can change to body rig camera. So that when I launch the scene, it's going to start from the camera of that person to start off with. So now still doing the refine of the mesh. You can click on it if you want. So still don't, I think I may have downloaded it already. So coming back to what I've created already, see the run animation? If I click and drop, drag and drop, and it's doing this thing here, uploading geometry to server. So wait for it. Still loading the heart. Okay, uploaded. So if I click this button, the person is now going to run. As you can see, it's a bit slow, so you can speed it up. Or you can make it slower. Sorry, that's in reverse actually. My apologies. Right? So that means if I was to refresh it, sometimes if you click this button, you just refresh the latest. Okay, there you go. So you can see the running woman which I created from CSM. Right? So that was just a very quick overview on how you can use CSM to create 3D asset for your meta pharmacy. Then of course there's more advanced technique, but at least now I've kind of shown you as a basic. We went from text to image. Is it 3 asset? Yeah. See, we went from beating heart to a 3D file. And then I've shown you, so basically you created a text here, created an image, which is image to 3D. Yeah, restructuring is basically changing the skin of the person, which I'll show you in a second. We did animate 3D model, remember, which was using, I believe, the Japanese lady or the Japanese patient. So let's try that. Yeah, texturing. So that's an example of part-based, by the way. So let's say if I wanted to refine this model, I highly recommend for you to look at the tutorial if you can. Yeah. So that's the base image. And that's basically touch up. And you see the image looks different, right? So you can see the color here. So if you were to click, I believe, I think it's in paint. I did that. Or maybe not, please bear with me. You can undo the step. I think image brush was. Yes, image brush. See, this is now matching. You can change the face. And then I believe you can rotate as well. So you can even do the side. If needed, of course. Right? But yeah, in a nutshell, you get the gist of it, right? And then once you're okay with the image, I think click on this button, self mesh, and go back, and then you can download it. So that's an example of AI retexturing that's available on CSM. So we discussed about this running person. But yeah, any more questions, feel free to message on Discord. I hope this was useful. And yeah, super excited what we're going to make for the next 5 weeks or so.
I think we have one more video to be played by Arun sir.
Santika, what we'll do is we'll have our session with Dipanjan sir, and then we'll continue with Arun sir's presentation.
Okay. So thank you so much, sir, Arun sir, for sharing this innovative platform of CSM 3D. Next, we'll listen to Mr. Dipanjan Das, co-founder SoundXVsion, about interaction ring for spatial computing devices. Sir Dipanjan is a photonics enthusiast with a bachelor in optics and optoelectronics from the University of Calcutta and a master's in photonics from the University of Eastern Finland. Over 7.5 years, he has gained expertise in photonics through academia, industry, collaborations, and business acumen from participating in business competitions. Since 2019, he has tested business ideas, winning 2 microfundings in Joensuu, Finland. He co-founded SoundXVsion, creating interaction rings for spatial computing devices, and recently raised Euro 1,20,000 from Shark Tank Malta. Dipanjan is involved with tech hackathons, mentors others, and is part of the World Metaverse Council, Tribe Tempier, and Tempier's startup ecosystem. He is also expanding his expertise through training at Tempier University of Applied Sciences in wireless systems and antenna design. We are honored to have you with us today, sir.
Thanks, Antika, for the introduction, and thanks, IPA-SF, for inviting me for this insightful Metapharmacy Hackathon. Super enthusiastic to present our innovation here from SoundXVsion, and looking forward for the exciting questions from the students who are participating here. Can I share my screen?
Sure, sir. You can.
So I will be going through our journey with the interaction ring for spatial computing devices. And we are based in Finland right now. So the problem that exists is the smart glasses needs to be that simple to get adopted. And what we mean by that is currently there are controllers for everyday use with the spatial computing devices, the VR devices, and our hands are isolated from the real world the moment we pick it up. So there has to be something more effortless and intuitive so that it removes the problem of cumbersomeness. So we came up with idea of interaction ring, which offers horizontal, vertical, and fine-tuned hand interfaces. So as you can see from the pictures from the left side, that you can flawlessly move your fingers, and these micro gestures are recorded in the sensors inside the ring. So you can move left, right, up, down, and also do the fine tuning. Why it is important is that when you are working with those bulky controllers, the hands fatigue and comfortness is not taken into account. So for having robust gesture recognition, hand intuitive interfaces are required. And we think that effortless interaction with this ring can be enhanced. And one of the important aspects is to look into the all-day wearability thing. Like nobody wants to have a device on them which goes off the power in half an hour. So we are looking forward for having a good battery optimization for this ring, and for use cases we can use for Unity and Unreal Engine with the different SDKs. And now we will look into the target groups which we are targeting in the AR/VR glass market. So we will be providing like to training and simulation VR providers. What we value is the rich input parameters that you can provide through this ring, which can be real-time force sensing, gesture recognitions. And this type of rings needs low maintenance, but also you have to think about the other solution in the market. So development-wise, like this ring could be used to tether with any other AR/VR solutions. And we offer licensing, customization based on customer requirements and cloud services. Let's look into another use cases with industrial and robotic side. So industrial companies such as paper processing and milling can use interactions to interact with their machines. And the things like automation solutions can be provided in the fields of agriculture. So here the values that we offer is that the robot hands and machine manipulations. So one of the important topics nowadays are drones. So used for drones controlling and also interaction with machinery in harsh working environment. Again, we offer licensing, customization based on customer requirements and cloud services. Looking into the more interesting field of medical sciences, and that's why this Metaverse Metapharmacy Hackathon is super important. So nowadays there is a trend of telesurgery service providers, and it's coming up quite hotly in the medical science. So we have this precise control for telesurgery and would be in the future for telesurgery operations. For example, intuitive hand interfaces for surgery. In order to do that, we provide licensing and software services. Next group comes with the accessibility. So the government organizations or educational institutions are our target groups, and physiotherapy clinics. So interactive solutions for Parkinson's patients, rehabilitation, and accessibility to those kind of solutions are our target. Again, selling the hardware and customization in different cases are our services. It's education, for example, if the students want to play around with some kind of toys or models, they can do it with the ring without any prior programming language. So children can use the trained model to control RC toys such as cars, helicopters, or games. And coming to the smart jewelry segments, like we are also providing it to the jewelry providers or jewelry brand providers. So our solutions can be fitted on normal jewelries without looking into another piece of tech gadget. So taking into account that there is offering of licensing, customization based on customer requirements. All of these use cases can benefit from sounuxvsion ML cloud services, like if you put data in to our customer base, and we use machine learning model in our cloud services, and it will be given out directly to the APIs that the existing products and services can use from that. So far, the market have shown that there is a huge demand of these interactive accessories, and it's rising. So by 2027, the projected market volume will rise to 52.05 billion, and the accessories alone can take a huge number from this market. So I would like to focus here more on our ringpreneur journey. So basically, we started with some input exploration kit development, and you can see throughout this journey, we have improved the form factor of the ring to an extent that it can fit just on your thumb, and it can take weight less than 6 grams, which is super good compared to the conventional controllers. And from top industry influencers, we have relatively great comments. So Anthony Vitulio says that you can skip over this media by listening to the music while you are on the couch. So it is very interesting that you don't need to follow any hand tracking or other experiences from current virtual reality devices or augmented reality devices, and you can flawlessly do that. And our journey continues. Like as a startup, we have participated in various events, in fundraising events, reality shows where we got success until now. And the story continues in the way that we want to extend computer-human interaction with our interaction ring. Now I will focus you guys to see into this video, which will explain more about how our interaction ring can be tethered with the current devices like MetaQuest 3. So as you can see from this video, the user is doing his small micro movements of the hands to interact with the content through the Quest 3. And he is tapping right now to interact with these icons, and also swiping on the images to change the environment, and also to change and engage with the content in the front. If you have any additional questions regarding this ring and how it works with the metaverse, me and Folk will be happy to answer your questions, and looking forward to the innovative ideas in the Meta Pharmacy Hackathon. Thank you so much. Looking forward to it.
Thank you, sir, for shedding light on the spatial computing devices. Akansha, we can have our PPT. Hello, Akanksha. Now let's move on to our Q&A session. Participants can put their questions in the chat box so that we can read out for the same. I think Chaitanya has some questions.
Yes, hello. First of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity to interact with you, sir. I just wanted to ask, in your presentation, you mentioned like it was adjusted for patients with Parkinsonism and other tremor dyskinesias. So I just wanted to ask, how does that work? If you can just briefly explain how the movement is sort of adjusted for people who do not have proper control over their motions.
Yeah, so basically in this case, we want to study the data of how often these movements they have in their hands. So if their hands are shaking continuously, so the sensors inside the ring can take data, and we can study over the time how this patient is like having these kind of symptoms all the time. And currently we have not done any active studies on that, but we would be looking forward to do similar kind of studies or research where we put the ring on the patient's hand and we gather the data from there. So since this device also has 4 sensors and other sensors, so small movements with the fingers can be used to record how often they like their hands getting shake, or they don't have a control. So in this case, they can take into account this micro movements of the fingers or the joints in their fingers. So does it clear your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. We have our next question from Akanksha. What inspired you to create the interaction ring for spatial computing devices, and how has the journey been from concept to execution?
Yeah, thank you so much for this insightful question. Like when I was working as a researcher in University of Eastern Finland, I met one of those from this kind of forums we had in the research project, where we had the open question, like, for example, what if we solve the problem of hand interfaces and interaction with those headsets? So we were working on the open source AR glass project, where there was a discussion about how to interact with the content in the glasses. So one of the solutions were to use existing controllers, or but they are really cumbersome to use, and we lead into an idea that there should be something that we can use all the time, and also like with those advanced headsets. So it came up from this research project, but we take it completely out when we thinking independently that to develop a product, we need to do a lot of studies first. Is there real pain that's coming into the market because of these? And then we did some surveys, and from the surveys, it was really evident that we need such kind of devices. Otherwise, there are also hand tracking solutions which work with the camera and the field of view. So it is not super perfect. And there is latency problems, accuracy problems with those. So it made us to think that, hey, why not to have an interaction ring so that it's lightweight and can be tethered with the help of Bluetooth to these kind of devices. So far, the journey has been really with ups and downs. But as in the world of startup, you know that we are always facing these ups and downs, and with the current economic situation, like there are some uphills and downhills in the journey, which we need to take into account. But entrepreneurship is completely different than normal studies or normal like education. But it's the journey which like makes you more resilient and stronger to independently research about any product that you want to carry forward and go to the market to test out.
Thank you for clarifying that, sir. We have our next question from the YouTube live participants. Could you explain how the interaction ring enhances the user experience in spatial computing environments?
Yeah, thank you for the question. And then I would like to enhance that. For example, in the spatial computing devices, I mean specifically for spatial computing devices like MetaQuest 3 and the upcoming smart glasses. So, for example, you can use your hand gestures to interact with the content inside those devices. So, and also play around, like if you want to like do it effortlessly, then I think such devices will help you to move flawlessly in the environment, and also pick, grab, touch, tap. These kind of gestures are really handy when you are in those environments.
Thanks for addressing that, sir. Our last question we have: what challenges did you encounter while developing the interaction ring, and how did you overcome them?
So there are several challenges when you are working with that kind of product. It's technical challenges. The challenges are due to the funding. Also, for example, it's a hardware product, so you have to think about considering a significant amount of funding for its manufacturing and going to the market, and then also finding from the research that what else could be done when you are in your journey of the product development. So these are some challenges that we faced while we worked on this project.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a great insights, and thank you for sharing your wealth of knowledge and insights. Next, moving on to
Thank you so much. It was pleasure.
Thank you so much, sir. Next, we can move on to our Arun sir's video. We can have the video, please. Okay, so I think there was some technical glitch. We can move on to our next part of the session, that is Eddie sir's session. So the last speaker for workshop 1, we have Mr. Eddie AVIL, founder of VR Storytellers, Immersion and XROM. Eddie is a passionate entrepreneur in visualizing India's metaverse and future tech industry. He has founded VR Storytellers, the team behind India's first stereoscopic virtual reality short film, Immersion, India's first and large virtual reality conference. XROM is an XR focused news website and marketplace. He also hosts two first of its kind podcasts in India, the Once Changing the World, First Future Tech Meets Sustainability podcast in India, and XROM, that is First Metaverse Focused podcast in India. He is currently leading the Metaverse division for Shimru Entertainment and also working on his Metaverse startup. Sir will explore the thought-provoking question, that is, are we living in simulated world? Can we have the video for Eddie, sir?
For giving me this wonderful opportunity to speak to your audience on this wonderful yet very intriguing topic. Are we living in a simulated universe? And if yes, can we hack our existence? And I'm sure people who are listening at this point in time must be thinking, like, really? Yeah. So I think, I would want to kind of first start with maybe explaining what the simulation hypothesis is. I mean, so imagine a world which is built entirely by code, meticulously crafted within a vast computer program. So this mind-bending concept, the simulation hypothesis, proposes that the entire universe, everything that we experience, might be an artificial construct. And this idea of a simulated universe isn't something which is new. It's got roots in ancient philosophy, modern culture, as well as entertainment. We have seen movies such as Matrix, which talks about or shows that how Neo is in a simulated universe and he kind of tries and breaks out. Then, Vedic history, we have Rishi Munis who have quoted that "Sab kuch moh aur maya hai." For the ones who don't understand Hindi, moh or maya means everything is greed and illusion, that everything is unreal. Then we have Adi Sankaracharya, who's an Indian Vedic scholar, philosopher, and teacher of Advaita Vedanta. He frequently speaks in his works that the observable universe is a simulation. And even Plato's allegory, in the Western world, the allegory of the cave speaks about, where shadows on a wall represent a limited perception of reality. So a simulated universe is something not new. It's got roots in ancient history. And recently it's gained traction because of people like Elon Musk, who has brought public awareness that we might be living in a simulated universe. The reason being, or the exponential growth of technology. I personally have been vested in virtual reality. And if you go to maybe the early 1960s, we had a computer as possibly big as a room. And then the miniaturization of technology over the years has made that computer almost like a computer in a pocket. And it's much powerful than what maybe astronauts had in the early 1960s when they actually the first landed on moon. So technology is growing exponentially and it's making these things possible. I've been invested in virtual reality. And today we can do like very good simulation, which emulates the sight and sound completely realistically. What's left is taste, smell, and touch. And I think with technologies such as haptic feedback and brain-computer interface, we could also be maybe stimulating or emulating these senses, through brain-computer interface. Maybe we could nudge you with a transcranial stimulator, where we fire a bunch of we fire some electricity, and which maybe you're just sitting and you will feel that you're eating a mango, or you will get the we can stimulate a certain part of your brain and you'll be smelling a certain thing. So these are now becoming possible. And at the rate at which technology is growing, I mean, imagine what the world would be in maybe 100 years, because today we are creating these realistic simulations for our factories, for our work, for predictive maintenance and so on and so forth, with these things called digital twins. And these are with Unreal Engine, we creating really photorealistic simulations. So what would this technology be able to do maybe 100 years down the line? And that's very fascinating, and that's the reason. And people like uh, Elon Musk and others say that we could already be living in a virtual simulation. And this has been pioneered by Nick Bostrom, and he has proposed a simulation hypothesis, and his simulation argument rests on three main pillars. The first one being, he says, a future civilization could achieve the computational capacity to run vast numbers of high fidelity simulations of their ancestors. So that's the first argument, which he says that humans have created so much of technological advancement that just to understand our ancestors, they could have created vast numbers of all of these simulations. And second argument is that if such simulations are feasible, it's probable that we are living in one of those numerous simulations rather than base reality. And the third argument is that the alternative to these propositions is that all civilizations at our current levels of technological development either go extinct before achieving this capability or universally lose interest in creating such a simulation. So only the third scenario, where either we meet an existential crisis, maybe an asteroid hits us where the human species goes extinct, or we've got extremely bored of a technology, that's when we do not create a simulation. So what this suggests that that we ourselves are living in a simulation rather than a base reality. And I will kind of try and kind of give you why I feel that we are living in a simulation. I think it's great to start with the beginning of everything, which is the Big Bang, which they say that it started from nothing, but yet it created everything. Now you might say that, what do you mean by it started from nothing? Well, the Big Bang theory proposes that the universe began from an atom, which was packed with incredibly hot, dense energy. And this was 13.8 billion years ago, and because of which it expanded and exploded, and this energy then cooled and expanded into a ever expanding universe, forming the matter and energy that we observe today, right from the star, sun, moon, air we breathe, the trees, the animals, as well as us. Now let's begin by exploring the size of the atom and how its explosive release of energy could create this universe, which I kind of find ridiculous as well as possibly magical. Now the size of the atoms are so small, they can't be seen with even the most powerful optical microscope. So you need special tools like scanning tunneling microscopes to actually observe these microscopes. And when you observe them, they're basically largely empty spaces by themselves. And the atom, think about maybe like a grain of sand, and then possibly you go a million times smaller. And maybe I can give you an analogy of an apple. If an apple were magnified to the size of the earth, then the atoms in the apple would be about the size of the original apple. So I'm a layman, but I completely find this ridiculous as well as magical that everything that we observe and everything that we see, the entire the stars, sun, moon, the galaxies, the humans and everything, could actually come out of a tiny atom. Now, even if they say that, okay, we've come out of a tiny atom, because that's what these physicists posit, let's kind of explore the atom and understand why I say that we live in a simulation. Now, there was this experiment done which is very, very well known, called the double slit experiment. It was done originally by Thomas Young in 1801. Then eventually there's many others who kind of did the experiment. The basic setup of the experiment is two blackboards with a particle beam that kind of fires these single protons out of those beams. Now you've got these two blackboards, and in the first blackboard you have two narrow slits. So through the beam you fire these protons. The protons goes through the beams, and the expected result is that it should hit the barrier or the blackboard behind in the same formation of those from the two slits, right? Because if you're firing these slits, particles, it should pass through those narrow slits and it should go onto the blackboard. But that's not what the actual results. When the experiment is performed, we observe an interface pattern on the screen. This interface pattern is characteristics of waves rather than particles, suggesting that the particles can behave like waves as well as particles. And that's what we call the wave particle duality, which has been debated over the ages. And here comes the role of the observer. So the fascinating aspect of the double slit experiment is that the outcome can be affected by an observation. So you keep an observer behind the first screen, and if we attempt to measure if the observer is viewing which slit this particle has passed through, the interference pattern disappears and the particles behaves like individual particles. This suggests that the act of observation can influence the behavior of particles at the quantum level. So here also understand the quantum level and the macro level. The world behaves completely differently. So largely this implies that consciousness has a fundamental role in shaping the reality we experience. Even the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics too suggests that the act of observation is necessary to collapse the wave function. Now I will talk about maybe other evidence and oddities which kind of makes me believe that we live in a simulated universe. Now, I'm sure, I don't know whether if you've heard about cosmogenesis. So cosmogenesis is basically the thought or a hypothesis of creating a universe in a lab. Yes, you heard me correct. Create the entire universe that we know in a lab. And it was proposed by Alan Guth, Andre Lind, and Eduardo Gundelman, who I had the pleasure to interview on my podcast. And I'm going to share the link here for you guys also to go through it. So here the theory is that you can actually create a universe in a lab. What they mean by that is, I'm sure you guys have heard about the underground collider called CERN, which is in Europe, which is created to kind of simulate what happened in the Big Bang. So to learn about the Big Bang. So what Alan Guth, Andre Lind, and Eduardo Gundelman proposes that there is an hypothesized particle called monopole, which if you shoot two more particles in the underground particle collider, and when they crash onto each other with the speed of light, it would create so much of energy that it would create a wormhole, it would detach from a universe, and then it would create a universe by itself. And in that universe, life would form, and there could be humans also, could evolve. So they propose that cosmogenesis, the theory is that, you can actually create a universe in a lab. And yes, that's kind of pretty much mind-blowing. For those who want to kind of dig deep, please check the link below. And my podcast kind of delves a little bit more because I speak to Eduardo Gundelman on the podcast. Then there is Dr. Sylvester James Gate. He's an American theoretical physicist who's worked on supersymmetry, supergravity, and superstring theory. And he served on former President Barack Obama's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology. So while working on supersymmetry equations, Sylvester Gates, a figure and his team discovered that the entire cosmos is written with a visual coding language called Adinkra. And not just that, they also discovered that the mathematical structures they were dealing with contained patterns similar to an error correcting code which is used in computer science. So what does this tell you? So this discovery suggests that the universe might operate on principles similar to those of a computer with built-in mechanisms to maintain stability and coherence. So the presence of an error correcting code in the fabric of reality in cosmos itself lends to the idea that our universe could be a simulation. And then there is Mandela effect, which kind of strengthens that, because the Mandela effect is a phenomena where a large group of people seem to have false memories about a shared event or a piece of information. Now, the reason of the false memories or change or what we know could be because the universe is glitching, and due to the error correcting code that the universe itself has, according to Dr. Sylvester Gate, it tries to undo the error sometimes, leading to a change of history as we know it. And that's the reason we see these different histories, with the Mandela effect, in which I think you guys should kind of double check. Then there is the holographic universe. Holographic universe means information that makes up what we perceive as a 3D reality is stored on a 2D surface, including time. This means essentially everything you see and experience is basically a holographic universe, and it's just an illusion. Then there is Tom Campbell, who's working on my big toe, which is the theory of everything. His main idea is that the entire universe or reality is a virtual reality simulation created by a larger consciousness system. Then there is Donald Hoffman, who talks about the same thing, that the universe is basically like a virtual reality, and space-time itself, he says it's doomed because space-time does not exist and is basically a virtual reality headset. He's written a beautiful book called The Case Against Reality, Why Evolution Hid the Truth from Our Eyes. It's something that I think you guys should read. It's an eye-opener, and you will see there's more evidence that he kind of bring forth, which suggests that we live in a simulated universe. There's Clee Irwin, whose key work is self-simulation hypothesis. Irwin proposes that the universe is a self-simulating system, constantly computing its own state. Then there is David Chalmers. He's written a lovely book called Reality Plus, Virtual Worlds and the Problems of Philosophy. And his main idea is where he explores the philosophical implication of virtual reality and simulation theory. He argues that the simulated reality can just be as real and meaningful as physical reality. So because there are a lot of people who kind of take this view, if you are in a simulated universe, why should we bother? Because the simulated reality can be just as real and as meaningful. Then there is Rizwan Work, who's written a book called The Simulation Hypothesis. So there are so many people who kind of push forward, and possibly we already live in a virtual world, and the entire universe could be maybe just a simulated reality. There is obviously evidence against this also, because we still currently do not have complete evidence. There's no scientific way to prove or disprove the hypothesis, though there are people like Silas Bean and Tom Campbell and many others who are working on, including Donald Hoffman, who are currently working on bringing forward more evidence, to prove that we are living in a simulated universe. So what I would like to conclude, and what I would want you to take from this talk, is that even if we are living in a simulated universe, take the concept of the conscious observer creating its own reality, manifesting its own reality. And there are people throughout history, millionaires, billionaires, celebrities, sports stars, actors, who have gone on record and mentioned that how they have created their own reality by manifesting what they desire, by meditating, by thinking positively, focusing on positive thoughts, and bringing their dream into reality. And there are various books over there out there, which again you can read. There is obviously, I'm sure you know about Rhonda Byrne's The Secret, The Law of Attraction. That book has popularized the concept of the law of attraction, which states that like attracts like. By focusing on positive thoughts and desires, you can manifest your dreams into reality. And the same is thought basically is something pushed by Joe Dispenza in a different way. Dispenza focuses on the concept of neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to change and adapt. He argues that by changing your thoughts and beliefs, you can change your brain and consequently your reality. So he suggests like meditation and visualization techniques of seeing and living into in the future that you imagine, like more money, a great partner, better health, great business. If you visualize, you manifest and you create that reality. Then there is Neville Goddard, whose work is heavily influenced by the New Thought movement. He believes that imagination is the key to reality. By imagining your desired outcome as if it has already happened, you can bring it into manifestation. Each of you are like the creator as well as the devil. So you can create your own reality. And that's what even the double slit experiment suggests, that, a conscious observer creates their own reality. So even if we are in a simulated reality, understand the potential of it. We are forever tuned to think negatively and live in fear. Push that out, push the negativity, push the fear, connect with everyone, because I think we constantly live in lack. The game change here is, live in abundance, because this universe, if we manifest our own reality, because if we live in a virtual world and if everything is made out of atoms, you are the designer, you are the creator. So even if you have health issues, you can create a better health, you can create whatever you want. So what I would like to conclude here is that with this powerful thought, that we are the creators and we are the destroyers, and whatever you want, since we live in a virtual world, you can manifest your own reality. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this talk, and I hope that you will dig a little deeper into the simulated universe and take this thought that if we are the creator, then anybody can create your own reality, and even you will create your own reality. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for clarifying about simulated world. I hope everyone is excited to participate and embrace the innovative ideas at Metaverse Hackathon competition. Now, I'd like to call upon our IPA-SF President, Ms. Vrushali Doshi, to say a few words and deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Sayantika, and I thank all of you to take out the time on Sunday to join us for such an innovative session. We will see you all next week at 11 a.m. with two of our most amazing speakers, that is Dr. Jain and Dr. Haraprasad Mishra, followed by Dr. Arun sir, with an actual session, not a recorded one, hopefully. And that's it. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a nice Sunday.
Thank you, Ms. Vrushali, and to all our participants. As we wrap up this session, do not forget to join the lined up workshops in the upcoming week, and looking forward for your participation in Metaverse Hackathon competition. We appreciate your active participation. Stay tuned for more such engaging events. Until next time, have a beautiful and wonderful day. Thank you.
Akansha, have you stopped the live?